The 2025 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, VAG Automotive Centurion, and EBC Brakes.
Round 9 of the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup made its way to Red Star Raceway, and as you saw in the first show, if you caught race 1's action, tricky conditions on the Friday meant a lot of riders didn't chance it and went out in the rain. Only a few of them, but yeah, there you go. That's a young man that takes after my own heart. I think that's probably the only thing I can get, that 2 wheels that I can get up onto 1 wheel and wheelie, but he seems to get it a lot better than yours truly can. So well done. But you can see there's still going to be some arch rivalry here for the final race of the season. And yes, those Bridgestones are going to be put onto the tyre warmers to get them ready to go, because we've got dry conditions. Fuel tanks are going to be sorted out, just enough fuel in there to get them round for the laps that are available. And there's 10 laps of race action to come for 2025 championship. Quick check on the stock exchange there. Was that? I think it might be, hey? Just making sure that his Bitcoin is up to date. But ready to go now as they roll out. And the guys that are rolling out now, of course, are the 600 and 1000 cc class. And the classic riders who came to join us as part of this magnificent 2-wheel festival at Red Star Raceway to wrap up the 2025 championship for Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup. Great to have them here, and they put on a good show as well, making it a truly awesome 2-wheeled event for the weekend. Good to see some classic Suzukis out there at the Suzuki sponsored circuit here at Red Star Raceway, and get to see some old faces, although Peter de Vos won't be joining us in the ZX10 Masters Cup. He's out there in the 600 and 1000 club class at Red Star Raceway. Mrs. Purificati looking pretty good out there as well, I think. Not too shabby there from Nix. Maybe just putting in a couple of lap times that gave Damien Purificati a bit of a wake-up call. That's why he found that extra bit of pace that he's been looking for. Speaking of pace, that's a pace that you don't be seeing that often from Harwood. But looks like everybody seems to be in good spirits for race 2. The wind has picked up slightly. That might just be a factor. You got a long straightaway here, you got a short straight that could potentially be in the mix from the windy's side of things. But also you need to take into account that pitching the bike left and right on 13 occasions around this track this way around definitely means that you're going to have your wits about you. Great to see some old rivalries and some great friendships that used to be on track still off the circuit there. And JLR getting a big hug there from Peter de Vos, and of course they've been riding in this category almost since the inception of the ZX10 Masters Cup. I think Peter de Vos, in fact, is the only rider who's been around since the start of the proceedings, when Kawasaki was still the main sponsors, as the ZX10 Masters Cup was in its infancy.
What's the evidence?
Yes, indeed. Zero evidence, I like that. But don't worry about the evidence there. Let's get the evidence out on track and see what these boys can do, because we've got 10 more laps of 2025 to go. A couple of gifts being given out just before we get out to the circuit. Thanks, Bron. Hope those all going to go well. That's really awesome. But yeah, get those leathers ready to go. Nice choice of leathers there, Henky. Let's see what Agliotti can do. Can we get another podium out of him? He's certainly fired up after the first one, yeah, in the first race. So looking forward to seeing if he can go for a 2 for 2. What's that? 1.8 bar, hey? Thanks, Bron. You'll know exactly what tyre pressure Steve's got to run. I wonder if Slacky knows what tyre pressures to run, because he's got to find a little bit extra pace. This man is on cloud 9. But can Damien Purificati find something special here in this final race and maybe spoil the day for Evil Knievel and the king of ZX10 Masters Cup, Clinsella? Time to get the gloves on, time to get those visors down, and it's time to go racing. That was an official stoppie there, I think, from Ian Harwood's point of view, or the closest you'll ever get to doing one. I think Top Rack might have a bit of competition there, Harwood. Nice one, in the pit lane as well, eh? Let's have a look and see how they qualified this morning in the dry conditions. Sella, Purificati and Agliotti, the front row. McMahon, Kruger and Rothquell will be alongside them. Then it's Seal, Harwood and Piper, Steve Galgocci and Nico Zitzman. Unfortunately, as we saw from race 1, if you did see the coverage of race 1, go back and check it out on YouTube. Graham Van Bedar not there after a crash in race 1. So GVBD will be out for the final race of 2025. Let's have a look at those highlights right now. There is the front row. Almost good to go there. Next climbing off her superbike, jumping on to help her husband out there. And the lights are about to go on. When they go off, we go racing. And let's see, it's going to be another whole shot from Stella on the King Price. Lick Muoli and fierce branded Kawasaki. Yes, he gets the whole shot into the Bridgestone chicane. Right on his tail is Pierre Ficati. Good start from Agliotti again for third. On his tail looks like it is Henk Kruger possibly. And then Byron Rothwell. Where is Hein McMahon? Hein McMahon? Yes, he's there. No, just missed him in the grouping there. But Hein McMahon is in the mix. Looking for a chance to go a little bit higher up than what he was in race number 1. Let's have a look at the chat from his point of view as we head down towards turn 1. This is the Bridgestone chicane. They're going to pitch left, right, left into the chicane. And he just slots in right behind Keith Agliotti as they go through there. So Agliotti looking for a chance now to maybe get that second podium of the weekend. In third place at the moment as they get onto the long straight. Goes sideways and literally parallel with the N12 highway heading up to Meshlele, which of course is the old Witbank. Now on the brakes down into the left-hander. Off-camber left-hander, a little wide there from Agliotti, not quite the line you wanted to be on there, but manages to still stay ahead of Hein McMahon. But look at Pierre Ficati putting the pressure here onto Stella. Stella under a bit of pressure here from Damien Pierre Ficati. He said he was going to come back fighting for race 2. He was going to leave it all on the black stuff here at Red Star Raceway. Still a little bit of rivers running here and there, so it hasn't quite dried up. So there will be a couple of tricky corners and a couple of tricky sections to watch out for. May see a bit of change of surface flags on a few occasions. That's the yellow and red striped flags from the marshals. If they do put them out, you'll know that's the reason for it. Is that we had rain all of yesterday and there's still a bit of moisture in the air and there's still a bit of moisture on the side of the tracks as well. Don't go off track today. Lots of mud on the sidelines, so that's definitely something you don't want to be doing here today. Zitzman brings up the rear end of the field as Sella heads up the front end and comes back down into the tricky bits of the circuit. It's left and rights as they come into the infield section, and you can see him now trying to get away from Damien Pierre Ficati. Pierre Ficati keeping him honest now for now. Let's see if Damo's pressure will pay off. He would love to steal a podium here if he could, but it's a difficult thing to do, especially when you had such a season from the man who is the overall champion and Class A champion for 2025, Clint Sella. A little bit of pressure on Agliotti. McMahon is a lot closer to Agliotti than what he was. He doesn't have to worry about Graham Van Bedar, so that possibly has helped Hein McMahon out to be slightly higher up in the standings, but have a look how close that is just behind it. Kruger, Rothwell, Seal, Galgocci, all in the mix. Still 9 laps to go, and as that board comes out, Sella looks behind him and says, oh, I've still got a bit of breathing room. That should be enough to get me to the end. Not so much there from Hein McMahon's point of view on Agliotti. Agliotti probably looking in the rearview mirrors going, hang on a second, where did that number 4 bike come from? He wasn't anywhere near me in race number 1. So he'll be looking to change his luck up here, I'm sure, as they all complete that first lap in anger. Into the Bridgestone chicane they go. 1, 2, 3, 4, no changes for the first 4 bikes. 5th place is where the battle's at. Definitely a great battle starting to rage there for 5th. 5 motorcycles, in fact, in that little battle, and then a little bit of breathing room down to Harwood and Zitzman as they come down the long straight away. Looking to see if we can pick up on that battle. There goes 3 and 4. First place and second place already down in towards the dog bone. The dog bone section given, of course, the name of the dog bone because if you look at it from an aerial point of view, it looks like a cartoon style dog bone that you would sort of give to a cartoon character. It's a left, right, and then another left, right coming back out of it. Uphill, it's cambered on the first part and off camber on the second part. So tricky little set of corners to get right. And if you do get it right, you can get a slight advantage. Then you run wide, as you can see both those riders do, and then cut the apex very late in second gear, coming onto the short straight that brings them up towards the infield section and towards the new kart circuit here at Red Star Raceway. 3 and 4 go through there, no changes still there. Agliotti over McMahon, who is in the 5 spot still. The fight on between Kruger, Rothwell, Seal, and Galgocci. Not a bad effort there from them. Then it's Harwood, he's all on his own sim, and the last rider through here should be Zitzman. He's dropped off ever so slightly, Nico, but I'm not quite sure how many times he's been to Red Star. It's not an easy track to learn initially. Once you've got it and you know the way around, it can be a whole different story. You just have to ask Clint Sella. He's done a couple of laps around here. So he'll know his way around, and he'll know it both ways, because remember, with the Red Star Raceway, it runs clockwise for half the year and anti-clockwise for the other half of the year. So get an opportunity. Oh, Sella's down! Oh my goodness, Clint Sella is down. There is a chink in the armor at last. Clint Sella makes a massive mistake coming into the triple right-hander off the short straight, and that has now given Damien Purificardi an opportunity that he has not had the entire season. So drama here in the final round. Sella is down, Purificardi leads, and wow, that's just turned this thing on its head completely. Damien Purificardi looking at an opportunity here. This is not what he expected, that's for sure. But how's this little battle here between Rothkool and putting the pressure on there big time? Great to see that. Henk Kruger and Rothkool fighting hard. There you can see Sella, he's back up, and he's managing to ride that bike onto the kart circuit, but that's it, he's out. The King has been conquered for the first time in 2025, and it comes at the very last asking. Unbelievable stuff, but that's how motorcycle racing goes. A lot of people know the drama of motorcycle racing and how good or evil it can be, and for Evil Can Evil today, it's been horrible. That's definitely not what he wanted. Purificardi will come across the line, and on his pit board it will say P1 for the very first time ever. Unbelievable turnaround of events here for Damien Purificardi, and he's got a massive margin over McMahon and Agliotti heading into the second half of this race. So the win picked up. I wonder if the win had a factor. Unfortunately, Clint Sella, his record with windy conditions has not been a good one. If you take into account some of the exciting times that he had on other motorcycles he's been involved in his championship career. The one that comes to mind is East London, where he was pulling a victory wheelie and the wind caught him and knocked him off the motorcycle. I wonder if the wind caught him out there and maybe was a factor in that crash. We'll have to find out afterwards. Hopefully we can catch up with him to find out exactly what went down there. But unfortunately, it is a case of going down that Clint Sella's had for the very first time in probably 3 seasons. We haven't seen a crash out of Clint Sella in a long, long time. So that has certainly turned things around here in terms of how the overall standings are going to be. Damien Purificardi is on his way potentially to the first victory in ZX10 Masters Cup. Hein McMahon is closing and putting the pressure onto Agliotti. He's soaking that pressure up for now. But how much longer can he take the pressure from the K9 enforcement bike on that retro racing Kawasaki of his? This is where they'll test those EBC brakes. Oh, and he's caught out on the brakes. McMahon dives on the inside as Agliotti makes a small mistake under braking the right-hander. That is, of course, heading off the short straight and into the infield section. So yeah, that's where we see the change-up. Little mistakes like that are crucial, vital, and can be deadly. And fortunately, he stayed upright, but he has lost the position. And there's confirmation of it. Hein McMahon ahead now of Keith Agliotti, so second place. It's still 1, 2, 3 for Class A. Henk Kruger heads up the second battle, and he heads up the Class B battle as well. Brian Rothkool would like to get ahead of him and make it at Class A's 1, 2, 3, and 4 if he can, as we watch Agliotti across the line. But he's got to get through on Henk Kruger, and Kruger's not letting him have it at all. He's making him fight hard for it, as is the battle for Reggie Seal and Steve Galgocci for the final honours in Class B. So Henk Kruger hanging on to a Class B win here, potentially. Doesn't have to worry too much about Brian Rothkool, although remember, these guys also all fight for overalls. They're not really worried about the classes while they're in the fight at the front end. So battles will continue until that checkered flag comes out. It's not done just yet. We're about just into the first part of the second half of this race. And as we watch these guys MotoGP-esque on the slow-mo shots around the circuit, looking good on their Kawasaki ZX10Rs. This is the final bit of race action for 2025 that we are seeing unfold here at Red Star Raceway. And it's a case of, can Agliotti get back at McMahon and secure himself potentially second overall for the day? Or is McMahon going to get that possibly and steal the overall results from him? This is race 2. And we've got a change up at the front end that we did not expect. Graham Van Bernal yesterday, multiple champion in the past, crashing out and out of the 2025 season as well. We wish him a speedy recovery. I don't think he was injured, but his motorcycle, that Stefanuti Stocks and Motor Kawasaki of his, unfortunately, a little worse for wear. The King Price Kawasaki didn't look too bad. but it has also fallen by the wayside and onto the sideline, with King Price's Kinsella making a small uncharacteristic mistake. And there you can see him just in the background watching Purificati on his way to the first win for someone else in this class when Seller's been there. Remember, there has been some victories, of course, for other riders in the class when Clint hasn't been around, but no one's been able to beat Clint on the track when he's been on board his motorcycle. This will be the first time that anybody's done it in 2025, and possibly in 2024 if I'm not mistaken as well. So good effort there from him in terms of the record he's held. But Purificati is about to break that record as he takes the win and secures first place for the first time in Class A, and overall victory for Damien Purificati as well. Hein McMahon will come through for second place with Keith Agliotti right on his tail, and that'll be for the top three and 1, 2, 3 overall and Class A combined. Behind that, it's Henk Kruger hanging on for dear life, hanging on to keep out Byron Rothkold and Reggie Seal. And they are not too far behind each other. The little fight on there between the two of them has been an excellent one all weekend long. Exactly what we expected to see at the final round, and great action provided by all of the riders in the ZX10 Masters Cup. Got to say a massive thanks to all the sponsors, of course, that have been involved for 2025. Headed up by Sunbet, our headline sponsor, EBC Brakes, VAG Automotive, and Bridgestone Tyres. We can't do it without you guys, and we do appreciate all the support for the riders. And then, of course, to the individual team supporters as well that have seen these riders go to battle all season long. Well done to Damien Purificati for getting his first overall win ahead of Hein McMahon and Keith Agliotti. And then Henk Kruger taking Class B ahead of Reggie Seal and Steve Galgocci. And Ian Harwood, the only Class C rider, of course, he will secure Class C honours for the day and wrap up 2025's championship season. So it's high fives and eventually a chance to relax, get themselves out of race mode, and potentially start to look to the festive season, where maybe a little bit of rest and recon would be needed, and hopefully a chance to get themselves ready for 2026 and what is proving to be and possibly going to be being another great season in the ZX10 Masters Cup. The fans, the families, and all the friends of ZX10R, we thank you for your support. It's been an incredible season, as I said. Great to see some arch rivalries and some old friends at the final round. Thank you so much to Red Star. Let's catch up with your winner.
Victory!
Man, that Clinton Sen is something else.
He lost the front there, but you put him under pressure, and overall victory.
I tried to keep the pressure there, but he was pulling me, and it was lekker to be able to relax a little bit.
Towards the end.
Towards the end,
There
yeah.
we go. Look, you've got to be in it to win it, and
For sure.
what, as Will Ferrell says, if you're not first, you're last.
100%.
Well done.
Thank you
Awesome
very
result.
much. Well done to Clint for the championship. Well done to all the ZX10 Cup riders for making this all possible.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Stephen Galgocci, this is South Africa. You need to keep doors closed, but
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I made a move on Reggie early on in the race, and I knew he was behind me, and Tyron were behind me, and I just came to the last lap. I sort of closed the door a bit, but I thought, okay, if no one came past me at that point, 20 minutes to the corner, I thought I'd move over a little bit to get some more corner speed. And who pops in? The Seal.
Reggie,
But
there we
anyway,
go.
Reggie the Seal popped in. Let's say it that way. But a great move, great race, awesome day. Thank you to everyone involved. We really appreciate it.
Well done on a great 2025.
Yes, all right. Thank you very much. And thank you to all the sponsors, Sunbet, VAG, Bridgestone, everybody.
EBC
EBC.
Brakes, there we go.
Without them, we wouldn't be stopping.
Well, he wasn't using the EBCs there. Reggie was.
Yeah, Reggie was, but yeah, thanks, guys. If it wasn't for sponsors, we wouldn't do what we love to do. So thank you.
Great stuff.
Yes, indeed, to reiterate all those thanks to the sponsors. The final prize giving for 2025 up on top for Class A there. As you can see, the top three in the podium and top three overall for race 2. Good effort from Henky Kruger to win out Class B, and Class C went to Ian Harwood. From my side as well, to all of the ZX10 Masters Cup riders, friends, fans and family all around the world, a massive thank you for letting me be part and parcel of this team. It's Greg Maloney, the voice of choice, and we're wishing you all the very best for the festive season. Come back in 2026 for more action on the Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup, and we look forward to bringing you all that action once again here on our channel.
The 2025 Sunbet ZX10 Masters Cup is proudly brought to you by Sunbet, Bridgestone, the tyre of choice, VAG Automotive Centre Centurion, and EBC brakes.